Volcano Eater.
The world of competitive Pokemon is in absolute disarray right now due to changes in the competitive world's format. Now, I want to get into this. I've been sitting on this, thinking on this video about a couple days now after the changes got announced, and I wanted to let some things settle in my mind, see how people react, see what is going on around the world and on Twitter, which I know is not the best barometer of reaction, but it's the best thing we've got aside from local people. And from my locals, it's not great. There are a number of people locally that I know personally who were going to shoot for Worlds 2025, and it's not even announced yet. They're already planning, blocking off their next summer for 2025, sometime between July and August, that they were going to go and be wherever Pokemon decided to put the World's Championship at. And now, all of a sudden, it feels like it's taken away. So what is the change? What is the problem here? Well, so how to qualify for Worlds, because you had to qualify, obviously it's the best of the best. You needed to reach a threshold of 600, what is called championship points. This current format right now, you needed to reach 600 championship points. And the way you got those points was by going to tournaments. Obviously, you could go to League Cups, Challenges, Regionals, and International Championships, or ICs as they call them. And there are 3 currently ICs right now. And I believe they reduced the regionals to about 8 or 9. I don't know off the top of my head. How well you do at these events determines how many points you get that count towards the 600 that you get. Obviously, you can't just spam going to Cup. You have to go to a various amounts of regionals and cups and challenges, and to a certain extent, an international. So you can use all of those points combined to get to the 600 threshold to get to your World's invite. And that's what a lot of people did this season. So many people got their 600 points. Now, just to put this out there, I got about 140 something, 140, 150 total from last year to now when the season ended in New Orleans at NAIC, North American International Championship, which was my first IC, and San Antonio back in December was my first regional. So like, I'm barely getting my feet wet as far as like competitive Pokemon goes. So like, that's part of the reason why I wanted to make this, to give my perspective out there as somebody who's burgeoning and emerging in the field of competitive Pokemon, and put my 2 cents out there, how I feel about this, and maybe some other folks feel about this way too, and I wanted to amplify this problem. So my friends locally were trying to do this the regular average Joe way. Go to as many events as you can, do as well as you can, and try to get in to get your world qualification. Now, unfortunately, they fell short, and that happens. I mean, the best of the best get to go, as they say, as we may get into. And unfortunately, they weren't able to make it because of certain, best finish limits, where you can only have so many top finishes in cups, championships, and regionals. And trust me, these guys went to so many. I went to a couple of cups. I didn't leave town for any cups or challenges. I stayed locally. The only big events I went to were San Antonio Regionals and New Orleans NAIC. And that was it. And I got 140 points, as I mentioned. So somebody who, I got a sixth of the way there just staying in town and going to maybe 3 or 4 cups here in town. That 2 a good amount of them were washes, and 1 of them I got 2nd place in. So, I mean, I got points from NAIC, and I got points from a couple cups and challenges. So, I mean, I really wasn't trying to keep up with it. At the end of the season, I saw, hey, I got 140 points. So, bonus, big banger, absolute banger for me, record progress. I thought I would have finished with 0, but here we are. Anyways, so Pokemon decided they're going to change this. So now, instead of having a qualification system, a point system, so you need 600, they're going to take the top 100 and top 125 ranked players in North America, the North American region, and you get your qualifications that way. And they made a whole bunch of changes to regionals, cups, and challenges to where, and the IC, to where they grouped up the regionals and ICs to where you only get they changed the BFL limits, the best finish limits. So essentially combining the big events of regionals and internationals together, and the League Cups and Challenges kind of incentivized those. And believe me when I tell you, Twitter blew up about this. The people on Twitter were not having a good time, and there was a big discourse about it, as Twitter tends to do. And I am on the side of the players here. There's been a debate a while back about elitism in this game, about how some top players say that they only deserve to go and that it should be them, and that the average Joe should not go. There's a word that I heard called luxury hobby, that somebody said that Pokemon at a competitive level is a luxury hobby, and that if you can't afford to go to these events and you can't afford to go to these events to get your world's invite, then you shouldn't just do it. You should just stick to casuals. You should just not go after it. And unfortunately, I think these people are winning. And somebody like me, my situation, whereas I shouldn't say no, but I speculate that Worlds will not be in North America in 2025. So next year in August, I probably couldn't afford to go to that anyway. So I said, you know what, this season is just going to be all about fun. And that's really what it is for me. It's just all about fun. It's having a good time, treating these trips as a vacation, treating, going to regionals, going to ICs. That's like the primary reason of going, is to have fun. The tournament's all on the side. So that's how I treat it. But I get it. Other people treat this as like, if they're going to be competing in this, they want to be at a high level. And some people are competitive that way. And I completely understand that. And they have every right to do that. So these guys, now they're like, well, I can't go to Worlds. I can't compete at the high level. They're disincentivizing me. I'm just going to quit and stop playing the game, which I'm seeing the locals, the people who are here with me that went to all these cups and challenges, went and supported different LGSs. They're saying, I'm not going to play as much this year. I'm going to take my foot off the gas pedal, and I'm just going to relax and coast this season. I may not pick the game up at all this year, which is disheartening because 1, I love my friends. 2, I love playing against them. 3, I love seeing them. And 4, which I think is the biggest part of this, is that means it's going to be less traffic going to local game stores, which after the decline after the bubble burst of 2020, 2021 of Pokemon cards, now that the market's been flooded, which is a totally different topic, some LGSs are struggling. Some LGSs don't get as much traffic as they used to, and they're holding product, and some stores have been closing. And this is another nail in that coffin for some stores that rely on people coming in every week to play these games, and rely on people from coming out of town to play at Elite Cup, play at Elite Challenge. I'm trying to support as many stores as I can. We've got 2 in my town, with a 3rd probably on the way. And I love going to both. I love absolutely showing up to both as much as I can and getting exposure for these people, or for the store owners, to keep them in business, because I like to go play there. There are a lot of things that work here that's just a giant mishmash of negativity as far as the Pokemon sphere goes. And I want to say to you guys, if you feel like your opportunity has been taken away from you, and I'm seeing so many people at each other's throats online, that it's like, man, it's only a game. Why you have to be mad? Like, guys, I don't know what to say. I mean, I just wanted to come out here and say, whatever you choose to do, this hobby is for you. You enjoy this game how you want to enjoy this game. If you're going to be traveling around to go to different cups, challenges, and regionals that there may even be less of this year, man, just go have fun, dude. Like, have a good time, see people, make new friends. Like, 90% of New Orleans for me was just the experience. Like, I get it. Maybe I'm in the minority, where somebody who doesn't take it as seriously. I went there with the mindset of like, hey, I want to go have fun. If I win, great. If I don't, whatever. But I did okay. I made like the top 1,000, somewhere in the 840s place, and I got points. So, like, I improved from San Antonio, which is what I wanted to do. I wanted to do better. Clear, I misplayed. I was short of day 2. I really would have liked to have made my first day 2, but, personal goes aside. And I think that's one thing that I see that online, to where you set personal goals outside of making Worlds. You set your own little miniature goals. And another thing that I saw people bringing up was that if they're going to be disincentivizing Worlds like this, to where you actually, what we call the wallet warriors, where these guys maybe don't have that 9-to-5 job, maybe they're rich, maybe they're better off than some of us, us average Joes that gotta work, and these guys I don't know, trust fund, Nepo babies, whatever you want to call them, they can afford to go to Brazil. They can afford to go to London. They can afford to go to Toronto. They can afford to go to Vancouver. So like, I'm looking at Sacramento for this year and San Antonio in January next month, and probably New Orleans. Like, those are the three that I'm going to hit. Sacramento, just so I can see the homies in NorCal. San Antonio, so I can hang out with the homies in San Antonio. And New Orleans, because who doesn't want to go to New Orleans? So, like, that's the goal. Now, to bring it back some, is that I saw people saying that Pokemon needs to sort of bring something else to chase, something other than just your World's Invite. Like, there was some, if you make a certain threshold of points, you get these promos, or you get you know, something to chase after, something that's tangible that said, hey, I did well, I get this playmat. I got a playmat that says I made 600 points and I got 600 championship points this year. I got a cool playmat that says, hey, you did well this year. Or I get a dice set, or I get a deck box that says, hey, you did well this year. I mean, like, cool, this is just entry stuff that I got from New Orleans, which has got more sentimental value than anything else. But give us something to go after, man. Like, I just want to play, have fun. Like, I love getting the prize packs from winning locals and entries, how they do sometimes. So like, that's something that I like going after. And these little things, little trinkets, something that you can set your sights on and be like, I want that dice set, I want that playmat, I want that promo. I think it'd make a lot of people happier to have goals other than Worlds, because that is a very lofty expectation, and I see both sides of it. Obviously, I think these people have the wrong idea that they want the best of the best to be there, but I think they just want their little clique there, and they know they've got the money advantage because they're sponsored, or they've got mommy and daddy's checkbook to go to the events. So it's like, you know, their heart's there, but it's not the right reasons. That's kind of how I feel. Like, I get it, it's supposed to be the best of the best, like the best. Not everybody gets to go to Capcom Cup, which is what I equated it to for fighting games. So like, you can win a major tournament, you can win an EVO CEO, Texas Showdown, defend the North, Frosty Faustings, and maybe get an invite to Capcom Cup. But that doesn't guarantee you that. But you could also make an LCQ for Capcom Cup. So there's so many different things out there, and I just wanted to say, I hear you guys. We're here, just have fun with the game, man. And Pokemon, please give us something else to chase after, please. We've had record growth, and that's one thing that some people were theorizing, that this game is getting too big for its britches, as it were, that they want to scale things down some, so they're not stretched thin. You know, the billion-dollar company can't afford to keep this thing rolling, so it boggles the mind how this company that makes so much money off the backs of the players here is just like, less players the better. I'd love to see the game grow. I've seen so many good stories of people that are like, hey, this is my first time going to a regional, my first time coming to locals. And like, that's the grassroots thing that I love the most, is when you get a new face at locals. When I go to cons every Sunday and we see a new person there and he's like, hey, I just saw this deck online, I have all these cards and I wanted to play, and everybody swarms to be like, hey, welcome in, we're here, this is our community, if you need any help, let us know. And it's like, the same welcome I got, it's the same welcome we extend to these people. So I want to see the game grow, and I think from the top down, they have to have that mentality as well, because clearly this is disincentivizing a lot of people. This is turning a lot of people off and driving people away, which is not what I want to see from the game I love. It's like that NBA quote card, what happened to the game I love? What are they doing to us? So I just want to say, enjoy the game. You guys have so much fun, and goodness gracious, here's another point that we didn't think of, was for juniors and seniors. How are these kids gonna go to all of these events? You know, you see a tweet or something saying like, how am I gonna explain to my kid that they wanted to go to Worlds, and you know, we either can't afford that to take them to all these events to qualify, and somebody who's gonna be, you know, in the top 120s, that this kid with all the money can go there. He may be somewhere in the 130s, 140s, 150s, But his parents can afford to take him to this extra regional or IC that the kids in the top teens can't go to, so they unjustly get knocked down the rankings. And these other kids with the money buff get that. And that applies to all the sides, but still, the Poke parents out there, I feel for you guys. But, you know, there's a lot more to than just this, and I'm throwing things out here just like that. It's whatever's coming to my mind, and it's a million miles an hour, and I think it's very emotionally charged for me because I obviously love this game, and I love to see the community, and I like going out and meeting people, like all the wonderful stories, all the good people that I've met on this journey of playing Pokemon. Like, it's something that I cherish a lot, something that I really appreciate, and I'm glad I stepped into this, and I don't want to see that go away because somebody complained to somebody at the Pokemon company and said, we need less players. We need people here. I need the buff. I don't want to lose to some Joe Schmo. I'm a sponsored player. I deserve to be in this running and not lose my spot to some Joe Schmo that works a 9 to 5 in the middle of nowhere. But that's just how I feel. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Are you thinking about playing the Pokemon game? Are you thinking about dropping? Were you going for Worlds next year? I was thinking about trying to go for 2026 in San Francisco because ideally I could afford that and go to that. But maybe I just go as a spectator now. Maybe I just go and see the homies and have fun in San Francisco and just goof off there, and maybe I don't play. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe I get that raise. Maybe I get something between now and then, and I can afford to be a wallet warrior just like these guys and go to Brazil, go to London, go to all these places and spend all this money on Pokemon and buy my World's invite. But until then, guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like if you like it, dislike if you dislike it. I am out.